Okay, lifting off this area, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to take a shot to the long side here in the Russell. I like we got a positive delta divergence in the ES. Euro dollar lifting a little bit. If we get the setup, still waiting here. Need a little bit more buying from equities. Starting to build some slight momentum to the upside. Equities is showing a little bit of a shift here. Watching the DAX though, the DAX is a little flat. That might be holding us back slightly. Euro dollar kind of flat.
Order pending. Order filled. Order pending. Order pending.
Okay, need cooperation from equities here to keep the momentum, keep the lift off this level. See if we get any sort of equities buying in here. I'm looking for trade 672.60s, and I got to move my stop to break even. Good enough. I'm going to start bleeding out some risk. Equities still not really, equities still kind of jumping around, neutral. Not getting a lot of concerted effort here yet out of equities, even though euro dollar's advancing. Things are looking decent here. Just some of these mornings, we've had a couple mornings in the row where we've only had like one kind of decisive move, and the rest of the action's been pretty jumpy. Okay, we have traded to 672.60s, so that's 8 ticks in my intended direction. So it's either it's going to run here or it's not. You know, we're already coming back to this previous pivot. Market-driven order flow is looking good. There's not a lot of resistance to it in the order book. We need equities to fulfill their end of the deal, or if they're going to be buyers on the market pulling back to recent support, they need to get in here and work this thing with some actual real buy programs. You know, 600 plus 800s. So really now I'll just manage the trade. I'll be watching Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, and really, you know, up until the point that I hit a target, you know, I'll run this thing. Now, I'm not going to let this trade come all the way back to my break-even point. Since this is technically my first trade of the day, I want to book some profits on a trade that's running decent. So I'll lock in about 8 ticks each. You know, trade to the 673.80s or above. I'll march it up a little bit. Because remember, when you're going into and out of buy program activity, you're going to get the Russell bouncing all over the place. Now the euro dollar is trying to advance. It's trying to get back up. It's up at the 35.90s. So we'll see what we get here. So I got a 24 tick target at 674.20s, so that'd be basically 2.4 points on the Russell. So I'm going to need sequential equities buy program activity to keep this thing going, and that's what you have in momentum. Momentum is usually getting in front of where equities is doing some directional trading. Okay, I'm going to watch 673.80s. If we get up to 673.80s, I'm going to move my target up a little bit. Okay, we don't yet have another partial or full buy program. That would take a plot of plus 600 or higher. Equities does seem to be willing to buy the market as it lifted out of support. Okay, we still haven't traded 673.80s. Now we have. I've locked in a point on the trade. If I trade 674s, I'll add another 2 ticks. Just basically, this is my first momentum trade of the day, and I've talked about this before. I want to lock in some profit on the trade as the market's kind of establishing its range. Or you don't have to do that. You could leave your stop all the way down here at break even plus a tick, for instance, and just wait to get a red Heikin-Ashi. You can either hit your target first, or you hit your red Heikin-Ashi, and then you just bail on the trade. You know, you lock in whatever profits you have. Okay, we've had one full buy program, one partial. So equities is in here. They are active. Okay, so we hit at 24. You know, we had 1 unit of risk, which was 8 ticks, and we hit a target. So we hit 3-to-1. We got into the trade properly. We got in at what do we get in at? 670 180s, I think it was. So we tried for a 2-tick better fill. We did get filled. You don't have to do that. You know, you can take the close of the candlestick price, but I say at least 2 ticks better. So we got in front of a momentum move, and the reason for getting long here was the ES pulled back, traded a little bit lower than before, but we still had a positive delta divergence. Because this inventory that came into the market at the close of Friday was at this price level, so the market's lower than here, but delta, there's still buyers being held. So basically looking for a trade where the market's pulled back into known support and lifting out of it is an area that makes sense to me to be long.